must be working with, in my case, a Jamaican. And our motto is we're supposed to work ourselves out of a job. The idea is that you come in and then by the end of your 2 years, Jamaicans, in this case, can do everything that you were doing. That's the idea behind the sustainability aspect of Peace Corps. And it's also, it makes Peace Corps a unique aid organization. There are lots and lots of aid organizations out there that throw money at things. And without getting into an intense philosophical debate about how development should work, I can safely say that there's a lot more value in human development than there is in financial development. Infrastructure is great, but if people aren't educated, if people aren't trained how to do jobs, you can create as many jobs as you want, but really what's important is human development, I think. So that's the first goal of the Peace Corps. Then there are two cultural goals. The first is to help other countries learn more about America. I'm an ambassador, a cultural ambassador. And the Jamaican ambassador from America has actually said several times that, you know, Peace Corps volunteers are the best ambassadors in the world because we're living in the communities, we're engaging in the community, and we're, you know, we're giving a personal side to America as opposed to the TV side or the movie side or the music side or whatever else. And then the third goal is to help Americans better understand the rest of the world. So the third goal of my job is to help to sit and talk to you like this, to talk to my family and friends back home, to share my experience and help people in America understand what life's like in other cultures, in other countries, and just to broaden everybody's perspective in that way. I think that the cultural aspect of Peace Corps is very unique, and I think it's phenomenal. Our first 4 months of service, I should start by saying service is 27 months, roughly. You arrive in your country and you have 2 to 3 months of training. Trainings in cultural issues, safety and security issues. There's technical training, so I'm an environment volunteer, which I'll get to later, but technical training in the area that you're working. And then you swear in, and then you go out and you spend 2 years in your community. The first 4 months of service are really dedicated to cultural integration. It's all about you becoming a member of your community. And with the Peace Corps philosophy of developing people, not things, you can see why it's really important to build relationships with the people who you're going to be working with. And really, to this day, I'm working on that. My job for the past 21 months has been and continues to be building relationships with Jamaicans so I can work with them to help them do the things that they're doing better. Okay? So that cultural aspect is really vital, and it's really great, and it works both ways. Not only do I learn so much about Jamaica, and I will take more from Jamaica than I'll ever leave here, but Jamaicans really appreciate the fact that you're making an effort to meet them in their culture. I mean, when I'm down at the public pipe, you know, hand washing my clothes with a bunch of Jamaican women gossiping, and someone drives by in a car and they're like, "What? We've never seen one white man wash a pipe before." You know, they've never seen white people wash pipes. You know, or just chatting patois. So many tourists come to this country and they just speak like I'm speaking to you now to Jamaicans, and that's fine. But the fact that I take the time to try to understand them, to understand their language, I believe it is a language, not just a dialect, is really important, and it shows a side of America that you wouldn't necessarily, especially in Jamaica, a tourist country, tourism destination, that they might not otherwise see. So I think that's really important, a really important aspect of service. More kind of, yeah, so that's kind of how service works. Over 200,000 people have served in the Peace Corps over 50 years. Right now there are about 8,600 of us in 76 different countries, although 3 were recently closed down in Central America, so I think that's down to 73. The average age for a Peace Corps volunteer is 28, which I happen to be, which is cool. There are a lot of people who join straight out of college, but there are 4 volunteers on the island who are over 69 right now. 1 69-year-old, 2 70-year-olds, and a 77-year-old. So that's just in Jamaica. So, you know, Peace Corps is making a push for older volunteers, and there's a ton of value in older volunteers serving. You know, because Maryland has experience that I don't have. 30 years from now, I'll have experience that I don't have now, which would be helpful and applicable. Let's see, what else? In terms of the application process, just to get logistics, you apply. The application is pretty intense. It's a couple essays, which aren't bad, but you have to basically write down everything you've ever done. What Peace Corps is trying to do is first of all, they want everybody to serve. Even though it's competitive, right now I think 11 people apply for every place. It's not that you get turned down, and what they might say is you need a little bit more volunteer experience in this area, or apply again in a year when you've brushed up on your Spanish. Peace Corps is trying to get you into the Peace Corps. They want you to serve. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to match your skills and your interests with a program in a specific country that meets that country's needs. Peace Corps can't just go into a country. We have to be invited by the government of the country. Okay? So in 1962, 50 years ago, when Jamaica was given independence from Britain, they asked Peace Corps to come in. And since then, we've been working continuously here for 50 years. And our programs that we've worked on have changed. They've evolved. It's really interesting to watch them flow around. And so there are different programs in each country that are meant to kind of coincide with what the host country government thinks is most important and where Peace Corps can really help out. Okay? So there are a ton of different programs. There's a lot of youth development. There's education, teaching at various levels. There's HIV/AIDS and a health focus. I'm in the environment sector. There's also an agriculture sector. There's business development. What else? I'm sure I'm missing some. I think there's something like social work. It's not social work, but I think there's something similar. You'll have to go on the website and check. But yeah, so there's all these different programs. Right now in Jamaica there are 3 programs, but that's actually going to get reduced to 2 at the end of the year. And 3 programs are the environment sector, which I'm in, youth development, which is mainly using sports to help develop youth, and then literacy and numeracy, which is working hands-on in schools for children. Right, those are kind of the logistics, I think. I'll talk about what I do, but any questions about what I've said so far?
Which one of those 3 will no longer be here?